Hi everyone. Hope you guys are doing good. So let me just quickly touch on a very basic topic that goes under business and entrepreneurship. A very basic topic that a lot of startup entrepreneurs screw up with. And this is something so crucial and so important which I'm going to try to make you understand in merely 10 to 15 minutes. So I need your undivided attention here. You have to, before starting up, or even about, if you have an idea in your mind, before going out there and actually starting up, you need to make something very clear. You need to be aware of what role you're going to play in your particular business or startup. Now, this is not just for people who want to start up. This is also for people who already have a business and who want to change something in their business, or who want to scale their business, or who just merely want to fix their profits or losses. Yes. So you need to clarify, you need to understand what kind of role you are playing in your business. Now, what do I mean by that? If you're going through a business, it's pretty obvious to call yourself as an entrepreneur. Am I correct? Now, you need to understand that, especially when you're just starting out, you are just not the entrepreneur. You are also a manager and you're also a technician. Now, this whole thing I'm going to make you explain. I'm going to explain you in three factors here: entrepreneur, manager, and technician. And why is it so crucial for you to understand the role each of these characters play in any startup or in any business's journey? Now, try to get me here. When you're just starting out, right, you have this idea in your mind that is not fully formed yet, that has not matured yet. You don't know how the markets are, you don't know where to invest your money in, or you don't know where to get investments from, or you don't even know, whether to just start out or start seeking for investments, or what exactly to do, right? So being an entrepreneur is like the meme that we see everywhere, being a dog whose leash is in his own mouth. Yes. So entrepreneurship, especially for a startup entrepreneur, is exactly like this. Now, what I'm trying to convey you here is, when you are just starting out, you have to do a lot of things all by yourself. There is no one else to help you. There's no team. There are no mentors. There are no employees that, who can take the burden, cut the slack, take the burden off your shoulder and help you through. So when you're just starting out, you're low with capital. Even if you have capital investment, you don't have the exposure of handling any business. At this point of the time, you're not only the entrepreneur, but you are also the manager of your business as well as a technician. Now, when I talk in terms of technician here, you need to understand a technician is a person who does, it's not something from a viewpoint of technical things, right? So technician is a person who not only does the technical things, but who is responsible for all the minute details that goes on in your business. Now, pay attention to this. Whatever this technician does in his business routine, it is not needed for an entrepreneur to go through it and just check it, or cut it, or add it, or modify it, or tweak it. All right. This job is of the manager. Now, managers are people who are hired to manage people who are working below them. Now, who exactly are working below these managers? Technicians, right? Now, technician, do not take it as a person in some suit who's working as a, civil engineering, doing all the technical stuff out there. Sometimes it can be very simple, something very simple like filling an Excel sheet. Sometimes it can be something very simple like, working on a project, doing the teamwork. Now, all the interns and all the first year, second year, or third year employees come under the technician format. Now, whether you're a business or you're a startup, and if you are a manager, it is your responsibility to manage these technicians. Now, if you're an entrepreneur An entrepreneur needs to have a vision for his or her company. This applies to you irrespective of your running a startup or a giant business. Okay, so this is for you even when you think that you are at a level that you cannot call yourself a startup, that you are at a level where you have a lot of funding, a lot of investors backing you up, and still you cannot ignore this fact. Now pay attention to this. If you're an entrepreneur or the CEO of a company, your job is not to look into the minute details about what happens in the company each and every single day. That is just not it. That is not how it works. Now, a lot of people, there's a huge notion out there that goes wrong with it, all right, that you need to know everything that is happening in your company. No, it just doesn't work like that. I'll tell you why. Because being a co-founder or a founder or investor or an entrepreneur, the person who's leading the company, being the decision maker of a company, is not required of you to go down to the minute details and spend, or I would rather use the word, waste your energy to check out all these minute details in the company. Rather, you should focus the same energy, same time, and same patience in developing the vision for your company. Now, your company is like a boat, is like a ship, and the sailor is you yourself. You need to have that vision of what you're going to do 6 months hence, 1 year hence, 2 years hence. And accordingly, you have to convey it to your managers and ask them or assign them or delegate or give them the responsibility and tell them that this is the vision I have. Then you have to share the vision with your managers. After that, it is their duty to make sure that every single minute things, every single small to big details that the technicians are doing under these same managers are taking the whole boat, the whole company in the right direction. What is the right direction here? The entrepreneur's vision for his or her company. Now, this is something so basic, so evident, and so simple, and sad to say, but so tragically, a lot of people out there in business and investing, funding, venture capitalists, a lot of people go wrong in the same concept. They mix the role of a technician, a manager, and an entrepreneur. Now, let's take it from a startup point of view. When you're just starting up, you have this, you you have the habit of doing it all by yourself. Yes, you're the entrepreneur because in the start you build this company, you started out yourself, you're the entrepreneur, you're the manager, and you do all the technical stuff yourself. And slowly as your company starts growing, there's this one employee coming in the picture, there are three more coming in the picture, and there's a good nice small team coming in the picture. Then you go out there, you rent an office, you hire some more people. Yes, probably if the venture is going super good and you're seeking out for investments, you get good funding also. Then there is this stage that you have to evolve or come out of your handling everything comfort zone and change something in you. Because as it goes in business domain, it is always whatever company you go out there and see in the initial phase, especially the company is exactly the reflection of the entrepreneur running the company. Yes, after the investments coming and the company goes big, there's just not one person running the company. The fate of the company, the decision of the company depends on variety of decision makers, variety of people. So, but this, when the same company, or even if you just take a small startup on the street, all these companies, when they are just starting out, yes, their whole position, the way they work, their culture, their presentation, their vibe exactly depends or mirrors the entrepreneur or the person running the company. Now, stay here with me for this. This same entrepreneur, when the growth starts coming in, needs to step out of his comfort zone. Now, what is the comfort zone here? The comfort zone here is to try to control everything. Yes, Why? Because you have gotten the habit as an entrepreneur to try to tweak everything, control everything, do it yourself, because you know that nobody needs this more than you. It is your company, right? It is your baby. You built it, you raised it. So no one can do any small to big work better than you do. I agree. This is how each one of us thinks, and that is true. And nobody needs it more than you. Nobody needs, this company to grow. Nobody has that vision. Nobody has that need more than you, because it's your baby, right? You built it. You built this company. Now, is it possible for you to do this for a very long time? And when you start getting more and more clients, you start getting more and more employees, is it possible for you to go out there and keep on handling, being a control freak, keep on handling just in the name of nobody can do it better than me? It's not going to work like that. And that is, I feel, exactly where a lot of people go wrong, a lot of startup entrepreneurs go wrong, because there are technicians out there, programmers, coders, who really have a great product, and engineers who really have a great product, and they feel that if I launch this product, it will be a huge hit. And their products are actually really good. I mean, I can give you a series of examples, but I don't want to lean into that. These exceptional engineers all across the globe, that is their sole thing, right? Inventing, just tweaking and making the best, finest quality products the market has ever seen. Not just tweaking on the previously launched products, but bringing to the market something really new. But as great as the quality of all these engineers is, the very tragic thing is that all these engineers are not able to establish a stable, sustainable business in the long term. Why? Because their core programming, or you can say their core belief system, is of a technician. It's not of an entrepreneur. Always understand that. Okay, being an entrepreneur, you do not necessarily need to know how to do the technical things. You can be good at handling people, be good at talking to people. You can just find the right people and delegate your work without paying them. Eventually, even if you just get one client, there is, if you know how to do it, there is a way of managing your capital and making it big. But the most tragic waste of resource is the time, energy, and money that managers and technicians mistake themselves as entrepreneurs. Okay, so just because you have a great product, it doesn't mean it's going to work. Just because you know how to manage people, handle people, just because you're a great manager, doesn't mean it's going to work. Now, coming on the entrepreneur, am I trying to support entrepreneurship more than being a manager or technician? The answer is no. Okay, coming back to the entrepreneur, just because you're an entrepreneur, still it's not going to work. Just because you have a vision for your company, still it's not going to work. There should be proper managers and proper technicians who should know their respective roles in the company. The technician should not try to be the manager, or the manager or the entrepreneur should not try to be the technician. If and only if all these three characters or roles in a company are doing their own respective work properly with dedication, only the company is destined for greatness, right? So it doesn't really work for even startups. Now, when you're just starting out, you need to have a little bit of manager and a technician inside you. Now, when you make it big, when your company is growing big and you have these literal assigned delegated positions for management and for technicians or the workers or the employees of your company who do the daily day-to-day tasks, doesn't mean that you have to take out or completely eliminate that manager technician in you. If you go out there and read biographies of some really great businessmen who are making the biggest impact in the world right now. I'll just give you an example. Elon Musk, everyone knows, correct? He's the kind of person who has 50% of him is an entrepreneur. Yes, 20% of him is a manager. You should actually read his biography to get an idea of how really things work, and how what he's trying to accomplish right now was something at one point of time, even when someone speaks about it, sounds very ridiculous and impossible. Yet that person is doing something which is very exceptional, and I wouldn't hesitate to say that that guy is the most revolutionary guy in the world. Coming back to the topic, he is not afraid to get his hands dirty, to get down on his shoes and his expensive coat to work with his employees. That is his technician part of him. He's not afraid to fire people right on his face, right on, without thinking twice that what the person will be going through or what, because he knows what he stands for. His vision is more important than anyone else. So he has that manager, world-class manager in himself. And obviously there is an entrepreneur in himself, without whose vision these manager and the technician in himself is not of any worth. So this was all about entrepreneurship, management, and technical stuff. You need to have all of these three characters in you. But where things go wrong, where you actually officially screw up, is when you try to mix all of these three characters, or any of these three characters try to overload or dominate the other characters, right? So if you're just a technician, just an engineer who has an amazing product, your insights about the products might be extremely different. And what an entrepreneur thinks about the product, right, would be extremely different. Yes, from an engineering point of view, you might tell that you don't have any credibility. I know what the products are in the market and this is the best product. But the entrepreneur might argue that not always the best products work in the market. We need to focus more on sales and marketing also. There are other things that go on. So this is the best product according to you, but is it really the right time to launch it? Or is it really what people need? What do people need? All of these questions will not be coming in the picture unless and until you have a little bit of entrepreneur, a manager, and a technician in yourself, not dominating each other, but a perfectly balanced equation in all of these three characters. If you have it, your startup, your business, your company is going to take great and great heights. So that's all. That's a small peek from, that's a very small peek from what we will be teaching you in the Be the Impact community. Yes, so click the link in my bio to register. Do it right away. There's a lot more of content waiting for you to explore. Go out there, the knowledge is yours. It's just you're always one decision away from changing your lives. I'll see you on board.